everybody. I'm going to open with a karakia, as we do. Karakia tātou, tua ki runga, tua ki raro, tua ki roto, tua ki waho, tua tātou te tangata ki te kaupapa o te hui nei, ki te kaupapa o te rangi nei, mauri ora ki tātou katoa. Which is about us focusing in on the purpose of the meeting when we're gathering here today. I thought we might just do a little round of introductions because Chris, you're new to our meeting, so maybe who we represent and roles. So anyway,
I'm Anthony, so represent the rugby club. What else would you like to know?
probably enough.
Yeah.
We know you do a lot.
Yeah, I'm Wayne, so I'm representing the Centre Council here at Correct Centre.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Chris Thurston. I'm the president of the football club. I've been in the role since January, so we're pretty new. And Jenna Bowden, who's our committee representative for the Rec Park, is an apology for today. So it's just sitting in for her. And apologies, I do have to leave after 1 hour, so if we're not wrapped up.
Morning, my name is Clarissa. I represent the netball club, but also involved in numerous other sporting clubs too that use the centre.
I'm Celia. I'm the other councillor in Golden Bay.
Morning, I'm Amanda and I'm the Rec Park centre manager and involved in other sports.
Gavin Dawson, and I'm the governance advisor for the governance team at council.
Kia ora, Rowena Grover, a governance officer in the governance team at TDC.
Tony Strange, I'm in the parks area and with Amanda in helping manage this great facility, amongst other things. Thank you.
Kia ora koutou, Grant Reburn, Reserves Facilities Manager, Tasman District Council.
And on Zoom.
Would you like for me to go ahead?
Yes, please.
I'm Margot Wilson. I'm a property services officer with Tasman District Council. My portfolio is the occupations of community leases and licenses on public land.
Right, thanks, Margot. And to acknowledge Max is on Zoom, so he's a media person for Waimea.
No, Motueka Guardian today.
Oh, right. That ups the ante. Thanks, Max. Great you're with us. Thank you. So the meeting will be recorded and available, and it's important to acknowledge so you know that media are here and what you say may appear in the paper. And I think that you're all pretty aware where the toilets and fire exits are. And apologies.
One from Duncan McKenzie for the AMD.
Yes, someone happy to move?
Yep.
Apology. Wayne, seconded Brissa. All those in favour, please say aye. Carried. No, people need the public forum. Or if they know they could come. Declarations of interest. Anyone got declarations to make? No late items. We need to confirm the minutes from the previous meeting held on Wednesday, 12th of June, so that they were a true and correct record of the meeting. Are we happy to move that? Councillor Butler, with you. Second. Yeah, Melissa, thank you. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against, carried. And our first report. Which is the granting a lease to Mohua Menzshed. This is in your name, Margot?
Yes, yes.
We will have read the report, and if there's any key aspects you'd like to highlight for us.
I would offer it as read through the
Yep.
chair, and happy to take any questions or elaborate on anything you'd like for me to elaborate upon.
Thank you. You've laid out in a lot of detail the process, and that's good. Any questions from anyone around the table for clarification of anything? Any comments?
I'll go on comment. The existing holder of the lease, obviously in a way that's not impossible to continue. I think the community's probably got quite a strong interest in that, and we've already seen it pop up on the Facebook page that there's been a misunderstanding between that the Menzshed are taking it over and that the gym is being kicked out perhaps. So maybe just a comment that there's going to be a notice of the committee's decision today that it includes information either from QDC, from Menzshed, or maybe from the rec centre, because I think it says a low level of public interest here in the report. I'd suggest there might be some bubbling interest. What happens with that community facility? A facility that has been seen as a community facility, the boxing gym. And my interest here is that Flory, who runs it, is also a part of the football club. So he runs sessions for football club members that he doesn't charge for. So he uses it as a business, but he also uses it as a community facility. So just to note that you might want to think about how communication is delivered when this decision's made.
Thanks, Chris. And Margot, as part of our working out things here with Brownie's Inn and St John's building, you know, we're being attentive to those that are subleasing or using those facilities and finding places for them to go next. And have we taken that approach with the boxing gym?
I'm glad you're asking. This is an interesting situation, and I respect the touchiness and that Flory would feel part of the community. But what I think you're not aware of is my interaction with Flory. He may do some really great things for the community, but it's a total breach. His being there has been a total breach of the Reserves Act because he's not a nonprofit. He was misrepresented to me by himself and the Scouts for years. I have shown and counsel backing me phenomenal patience in trying to get him to leave and trying to get the Scouts to acquire another tenant that does align and is legal with the Reserves Act. Flory is a for-profit business. He might not make much money, but he's not a nonprofit. And he was, as I say, I spoke with him for years. He dodged me. He told me, anyway, so.
I'll just pause you there, Margot. I think it's great to know that you have been in touch with Flory, that there hasn't been you know, some communication and understanding of the situation. I think how we couch this is delicate. And,
yes, I agree.
Yeah. So, and I think you've made your points in the report around we don't have people who are making money, you know, private businesses. And in our community, it's sort of a fine line, isn't it? There's some pretty small margins in some of the businesses that run that do benefit the community. So while technically I accept, you know, the position, I think in terms of the benefit to community, because I know a lot of people have really benefited from what he provides, we do have an interest here in that there is somewhere for him to go to continue. So it mightn't be your responsibility to find that, but I think I just wanted to know that there'd been interaction. Yeah.
Yes, and I respect that, and I do get this. It is a complex situation, and I wish Flory all the best, and if there is something that we at council can do, but he will need to find a commercial premises, and we don't have any commercial premises available in the area, so my hands are a bit tied.
Thanks, Margot. Do you want to add anything?
Oh, no, I just, I guess back up what you've said, Chris, that the, the benefit to the community is important as well,
Yeah,
the overall good. As a resident from that, is, can't be discounted.
no. And I think, there's plenty of folk around the table here, we're aware of venues and, it'd be good if there's some assistance to help them find somewhere else to, provide that service really. Any other comments? I need to hear from you that you're supportive of this notion. And I guess we'll do that with a vote, but, is there general support for what's happened here with the Scout Den?
Yeah, I certainly support it. I think that's really, really good. And it was so much that the design of that we saw that was going to go was so big and expensive that this is just a far better option. Yes. And I can see this working well.
Thanks, Wayne. Yes.
Just through the chair, so I guess, in terms of the lease that the Menzshed had, in the original site, I guess we need to look at maybe tidying that up in some way or form. And, I'm not sure off the top of my head how that would work, but, or it might be just an acknowledgement that they no longer want that site or need that site. Just perhaps an administrative, process I can investigate.
Thank you. I was going to bring that up. So I think that the conditions of the lease, there'll be a whole lot of conditions there with that lease wasn't there, and some time frame in which they needed to uplift it by and all of that business. But and I think in our last meeting we had a chat about that, and let's wait and see if this gets secured and then deal to that. But I mean, and I think there's something from it for us to make sure in the future that we don't go through an expensive public notification, all that time that it takes and staff time when this is the end result. So great, they're going to end up in something more appropriate probably for them, but I do have, just a little concerned about when we went through that whole process.
I'd like to, through you, Madam Chair, acknowledge the work of Marco in this, because I know that it's been, you've been tearing your hair out for a while, and that the scout halls have generally been a problem in the region, because we've got this change from scouts being very popular and functional to them actually becoming not functional, and that the halls, the buildings, facilities are still in existence. So yeah, like to acknowledge Marco's work in this.
Yeah, it's one of those legacy things too, isn't it, where there's shifts and changes and how communities go and around. So a good result, I think, to end up there, you think it just seems sort of much more suited, doesn't it, and that the idea that because if they did it, then it would come to council, council like powers would own Scout Den, and then we've got to do it up. And so it seems like a really good solution. I just wonder, do we need to put a note in the resolution about that you will look at the lease that was set up about, or do we just let that go? It's just part of your operational.
Look, I'm happy just to find out what's required in terms of our reserves obligations.
Yeah.
And just, as I say, make sure that it's tidied up.
Yeah.
But I don't see any great urgency in that. I just, as you say, you want to make sure that they, are into their new. And they're happy with it, and we close that other one off.
Yes, and I saw the little piece on Facebook that they wrote about the history of that hall, and that wasn't that great? Very interesting. Who knew? So it's just nice to see these things get a new life. Not COVID. Little allergy thing. I'll just note in the recommendation in the next report on toy library that we say in our resolution, we recommend to TDC. Well, we don't make a recommendation here in this resolution. I used to do, recommend to council that have an application, but then I thought there was something about. You know, I think it was something about, that's all good. All right, well, there's nothing further. Thank you. Celia?
No, acknowledging that, my boys went to Scouts down there and benefited from it.
Some of us girls wanted to go and weren't allowed. So I seem to be doing, I didn't want to knit a tea cozy, a teapot. It's been great, hasn't it? It's been it's had a real life, yeah. Is someone happy to second? Thanks, Wayne. I'll put the resolution. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against, carried. Great work there, Margot. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the next report is. And your name as well. So the toy library.
Mhm. I, through the chair, will just say 1 or 2 sentences that the toy library has been subletting with the Collectible Vehicles Club. The Collectible Vehicles Club has had a lease in Brownie's Inn for, I think maybe 10 years or so. But they have now decided to wrap up. So the toy library is happy to take over the lease. They're aware that the building is used for several weeks during the A&P event, and they're happy. They've dealt with that before, so they know, they've been there. They know what's what, basically.
Great, thank you. And we did have a bit of a think about whether it might be something for changing rooms, developing, and it seems like it's not going to be workable. So would obviously be pretty happy to be there.
Was any look at them possibly going to the St John's room that night?
So yeah, just through the chair, so Margot and I have discussed this in recent days, and I just wanted to check that everyone was supportive of this, you know, toy library lease, given our discussions. But I know we did, you know, wonder whether the toy library would entertain going into St John's, but we still have to, I guess, sort out the future of that St John's building, because it is still with St John's, and Margot can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was in October they were going to come back to council with a decision on that building, whether they want to relinquish it or whatever.
Yeah.
But potentially, I mean, it might be something in the future that the toy library would want to entertain. Perhaps moving, but anyway.
You think we got in terms of our changing room discussion?
Yeah, from that action point that's in previous minutes there.
Yeah.
Whether it actually got action or not.
It did. So I got an email, but I thought it must have come through a report. But is it in our report today that Rob looked into it, and because there's no plumbing in there?
And yeah, I wonder if it's also because of the A&P use of it as well.
Yeah, it would still be open though, so that it wouldn't stop them. It'd probably be a lot easier for them to use a changing room than it would be for toy library and all this stuff there. I mean, I'm okay with it if it was really looked at and there's some flexibility, but it just seems an opportunity where everyone could fit in and changing rooms that are fit for purpose rather than.
So where did it?
Starting from new, which.
Yeah, I might be heading that way. I saw an email from Rob, but I thought that might have gone to everybody. Or it's not in the activity report today.
No, it hasn't included anything in that report.
So what he said in that, was that in looking at the buildings, actually wasn't, he didn't think it would be suitable to do it up, because of just how much money would have to go into providing plumbing and state of the building and.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right, eh?
Well, through the chair, I was at that meeting representing Rob. We were all standing outside
Yeah,
having a look at both of the buildings. I don't think we actually got into the St John's at that time, but kind of seems to me that there's timing is everything, isn't it? If there's a lease that's being relinquished and there's another opportunity next door, is the timing better to be joined up? If you know what I mean by if the use of the St John's is going to be relinquished, what's the opportunities there for both buildings? I don't know. I don't want to.
Just through the chair, I wonder if Margot can provide a bit more insight into the toy library's future aspirations with regard to that building, or the just in terms of their organisation, where they see themselves going over the next few years.
Through the chair, I don't know any specifics. They seem fairly amenable and happy to be anywhere in the general vicinity. I could write a number of different clauses to make this lease or shorten the tenure of this, make it a 1+1+1 kind of thing, or a clause that said that if one of the other buildings is remodeled in such a way that it's more advantageous for the community and council to move them, for example, to the St. John's building, that they would agree to do that. I don't think they would argue with that.
no, Celia.
Yeah, just to say that I called into the toy library not long ago, and they are reasonably happy. They do have a little bit of problem with dampness, but their numbers, their membership is actually the highest it's been. So their membership is now, I think she said 115, something like that. So it's a very popular thing. They do need space. That is one of their things. But, and also the other question, I suppose, would be, what would the rent be? Or what would the lease be for the St. John's rooms?
It's the same. Through the chair.
The same.
Mhm,
Yeah.
the same.
Okay.
340, the new 345 a year, pardon me.
I've just found Rob's email, so this was a response, I think, Ro, to you sending out asking, did you send an email out asking for action updates from the previous?
Yes, I think I did.
So Rob came back and said Brownie's Inn, Tākaka, sublease to a library. He said Brownie's Inn appears to be an old wooden building with limited plumbing, would therefore not be a good choice for conversion to changing rooms, particularly in light of the St. John's ambulance building adjoining toilet block offering a more suitable alternative. So I thought he had a good look in the building and made more of a robust assessment.
I think through the chair, I kind of agree with Margot. Parks are really in favour of maximising buildings rather than building more on parks reserves. And it seems to me there's an opportunity to maybe not probably rush too much into. We should probably look at what is going to happen with the St. John's building. What's the best use if it's not going to be used for the currently? Maybe there is an opportunity to maximise both buildings. So I just think if it's another month that we may hear from St. John's about what they're intending, then what's another month?
Yeah.
To make a better decision or an informed decision.
Yeah. And although they love that space, because everything must be great for kids to run in there and get around and look at everything, there would be a way, I guess, for things to be stored and wrapped a bit more to take up less floor space. Anyway,
Through the chair, I just wonder how warm the Brownie zone is,
Yeah.
what the heating, is effectively like there into St John building, which maybe, but I'm not sure.
so the option is to not make a resolution today, or to make a resolution saying that we accept the report, perhaps, and note that given the St John's building resolution around that is coming up in a month or so, that we revisit. Because we don't want to go to that, because it's a reserve land, you've got to publicly notify these leases. And so you go through all of that and then in a, so I think just to get really settled about it.
Just through the chair, I wonder if we could look at rolling it over on a month-by-month basis.
Yeah.
Until we have a decision, and Margot can check whether we were able to do that.
Through the chair,
So
yes, we are.
So we need a resolution. We could say that we note the report today, receives the report.
You've received so of the ones you've got in your agenda, so keep item 1.
Yeah.
Part 1, sorry. I think keep part 3, it's just the information. There's no doubt that information will be going through to the board. And for number 2,
I think that we could say that we note that given that this, it's what's happening with the St John's building is unresolved, that we propose to offer a month rolling over lease.
yeah, we'll say, I'll just, if you can give me.
Yes, sure.
Excuse me,
Yes.
would you give a deadline or month by month rolling over, so that a decision is made in, 6 months or 12 months? Because if you just do month by month with no end date, just, things are up in the air for a few clubs or groups.
We put a time limit on?
You could say until St John's building was known.
May I respond to that?
Or
Just briefly, the existing template that we use, I'd have to check each lease specifically to make sure that our original template was not amended, but they do include a clause near the end, like clause 12 or 13 or 14, almost all of them, that say that should neither party give notice, that the lease automatically reverts to or morphs to a what do we call it? The words is out of my head, but a month to month. So that should already be in place for everyone.
Yeah, and I think if we communicate clearly to Toy Library to say, look, we're just going to put it off for probably a couple of months. Do we work at St John's?
The Toy Library don't have a list. Because
They do. They do.
do.
They signed a sublease through the chair. They signed a sublease with us that said that attached the head lease and said that all the terms of the head lease apply to you. So they technically are under the same terms as the Collectible Vehicles Club.
Oh, that's good. They did it legal. That's good.
Yeah.
Sorry, through the chair, just for this resolution. So Margot, are we saying that the committee agrees to continue or agrees to grant a month to month if it's already built into the lease?
It would be agrees to continue.
Yeah. Okay. I think the thing about picking a date is what if something happens with the St John process and it kicks out past that, then we're going to do. So I just wonder if we communicate really warmly to Toy Library that we are positive and it's just a process matter more than they need to start looking anywhere else.
Maybe the caveat on there, you could put with a review of 6 review of 12 months.
I wouldn't go into that.
No,
No, I mean, we're just trying to put this off for probably a month or two. Probably maybe by the next meeting we can resolve it, but
yeah.
So maybe when is the next meeting? Will be February, March?
I thought it's no.
Oh, November, so that would be a time we resolve it.
Mid-November.
Mm.
So the next meeting.
Schedule.
Next.
as long as we're confident that we're gonna have a resolution with St John's by then.
Any review it. Schedule.
We'll have a date and maybe not at all.
It's about November 17th.
It's a Sunday, so I hope we're not coming in the
We'll be there. Yeah, it's the late part of the month, mid part of the month.
It's not coming from my calendar. So what have you got there, Gavin? What do you think?
So one is as is in the report, and two would read agrees to continue a month-to-month sublease for toy library pending the result of the St John decision. With a review by the next scheduled meeting.
I'm happy with that. What do you think, Grant? All right, so we're gonna go with that. I'll put that resolution, eh? Yep, all those in favour, please say aye. Against, carried.
Sorry, you can have a mover and a
Oh, maybe, did I? Thanks, Celia. Thank you.
Don't know what that is.
All those in favour, say aye. Aye. Carried, thank you. We lost Margot.
Your team's
No,
just
I'm
gonna-
here. I'm here.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, sorry.
lost on the screen. Thanks for that, and we'll look for a resolution at the next meeting and yeah.
That's fine. I don't, my slight feel for the interactions I've had with the toy library, I don't think they'll mind this.
Yeah.
I think they're okay. They trust that I'm not going to be kicking them, or we're not going to be kicking them out immediately.
Yeah. Or kicking them out at all.
Exactly.
Yeah. Great, thank you.
Okay.
Move to the activity report.
Okay, I'll just start off by saying just the report author there's I think it must have been an auto correction or something.
Oh, been thinking, who is that?
Rob Coleman was the author, not Rob O'Grady.
Yeah.
Grady's in our projects room. I'm sure he'd be amused to see his name on this. Anyway, Rob's not here today, obviously, but I'll take the report as read, and if need be, Tony and I can provide more detail on any sections. That's information.
Okay, and we might just look at those action points from the minutes through this too, if they're
Yeah.
not, are they all covered in there? Any points, comments?
Yes, Amanda's given me two things. Duncan is concerned about the mess up in the grandstand. Said it's quite filthy. Bird proofing was done, is that right?
Portions through the chair, portions of the bird proofing has been done. Not all of it.
Yeah.
It's a pretty major piece of work, thousands of dollars. So there's more to do, but it's a matter of, budget really. We would like to see a little bit more focus on the cleaning through parts of the community as well. We are going to commit to cleaning the entire grandstand as part of leading up to the AMP show, like we did last year.
Yeah.
Which was a really big job, cost thousands as well to do that, because not only you know, is you can't actually blast it because you need to wipe it. So it's a big job, but we'd like to make sure that there's opportunities for any volunteer groups that may be involved in it to chip away at it during the year.
Yeah,
And then we do the final big clean before the AMP show. And that's how we'd like to kind of see how things might go with,
Okay.
with it. So it is dirty.
Is there a way to get it on the community service roster?
Yeah, that's a
People
good
have to
idea.
do hours.
Through the chair, I also think we should look at, you know, trying to include it into the reserves maintenance of our day. So
Yeah.
perhaps through the annual planning process, so, because it's, you know, it's a new facility that needs
Yeah.
to be washed down, and cleaned.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, through the chair too, we will be looking at washing it externally as part of kind of a regular annual process. But that's not so much of a big deal as it is with the bird, you know, the
Yeah.
birds, the trouble that we have inside, it's pretty manky.
yeah,
So the last couple of meetings I've been involved at, there was some discussion from the AMP and talking to Duncan as well, and maybe even the rugby club having, in any of the clubs, just having working bees every now and then, maybe every quarter. I don't know. There was some talk about that. That would be a big help. You know, I'll do my best to try to find some more funding to be able to completely bird proof, but I don't think that's ever going to be completely bird proofed. Yeah, it's something we'd like to get a little bit more focus on now that Parks has inherited the building.
yeah.
So we'll be working on that, but certainly there'll be an annual program to clean the external building part of it.
Okay.
Has a request been sent to the old grandstand committee or volunteer?
Not through any of my channels. So I thought that, so I'm a little new, like was under the impression Duncan was a part of that. Is that right? So
Yeah.
I had mentioned it kind of offline. It'd be great if you guys could help. And he was, though, really responsive. He said, yep, for sure. And I think there was even some discussion, you know, with the rugby club too, helping out.
I just wonder if they need like a formal request.
Yeah, possibly.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
I think that would be nice. Could that come from this committee, do you think? Or should it come from Parks or?
Well, it's more an operating thing, isn't
Yeah.
it?
So it's kind of like a request, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, we could, you know, I could take that on board and we could write something to the grandstand committee. There's a slight responsibility there for it to be maintained to a degree.
You know, I think Duncan's already said, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's responding to his offer in a way, that noting that there was an offer for, you know.
Yeah, and it could be even a rotating kind of, I could talk with Amanda or the clubs that maybe there's an opportunity, because it does get obviously with the rugby, when the rugby was on, when you beat Wanderers, I love beating that up, but you know.
They've been on to bloody win the competition, haven't they?
Yeah.
Don't worry, Louise. Don't do that.
What was it?
Yeah, but we beat them, so we're fine.
Yeah, it's not last laugh. But it was fantastic. There was music up there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great, you know, like, don't get me wrong, I think it's a fantastic
Yeah.
facility and it should be used more if we can. But yeah, let's get a little bit more focus. So
Yes.
I'm happy to try to push that along.
Okay, I think the corrections, is a great idea because they're coming over into the bay. There's things happening in various places. I just can't remember who the link is to that.
Through the chair talking about PD?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, okay.
Free labour.
Yeah, I'm really nervous about, I wasn't aware how, I thought we could just blast it. No, you can't, you know, and I guess it's just managing what we do there appropriately, and if that's can be done, then what a great service.
yeah. Would we make a reach out to PD?
Yeah, I'll find out. I'll take that on, and I don't know, maybe Mr. Barry Dowler has a good contact.
Yes.
He uses them over in the
Cool.
sports park over there for their concrete grandstand. You know, in there and clean that, so I'll pick that up and see if we can make contact.
Right. Second point for Amanda?
Car parking lines.
coming up, isn't it? It's in the report, so.
Yeah.
Especially at night,
I'm just. Not this.
yeah, driving at night, we just can't, oh, mine, what was your thing? Anything else from the matters on the committee report? Anyone want to comment on?
Maybe I'll jump in as well. Thanks, Chris. Just for transparency, the Musselin Masters is a football tournament that happens on Labour weekend every second year. Both that tournament and also our pre-season Hope is my homeboy battle for the Bay tournament has previously had camping associated with it. We've inquired about that this year under the impression that this was an okay activity. I have been told clearly through Rob Coleman that it's because it's reserved, no camping allowed. And also through Amanda that the sublease for the Windows Hockey Farm is for sporting activities only. This has thrown a bit of a spanner in the works of what is people come together to stay at the field and create quite an atmosphere and the teams, especially being older, if they leave, they don't come back. So it's a bit of a pickle, and the event's 6 weeks away. And we've had a number of teams that have come to us and said this is putting our participation in jeopardy. So I wanted to raise it and just see around the table whether there was any alternative solutions specifically for camping on the grounds here for an exemption for an event with any requirements that we'd be happy to take on. And it's a shame Amanda's not here because I'm sure she would have some thoughts and considerations as well, but we're really open to ideas. And like I say, it's just became a bit of a, perhaps it wasn't asked in the past and it just happened, and hands up if that's occurred, but it's just for us stepping in to try and arrange a really good event. It's been a bit tricky.
Yeah, one of those things that's just going along and it's sort of okay, and until you, when you ask, it's like, well, actually, you know, I haven't been on there, you know, just sort of rolled on, but you've got a point about AMP.
Yeah. Like that grass car park over there is just, it's vended, isn't it? I don't think there's any formal agreement on.
But it comes right around the edge of the shed.
Yeah,
It's leaning out there behind these
Behind
corners.
the
of
netball
AMP land.
Oh, okay.
So if you maybe did a grandstand.
There we go.
Then you could also ask the neighbouring farmer if he's got a paddock. Possibly.
Who's that farmer? The Windows as well.
Yes, Windows, yeah.
Andy Reid.
Out here seems like a sort of obvious place, isn't it? If AMP are happy for you to, but you have a fair whack at people arrive, so.
Just not on the netball courts.
Absolutely.
In terms of car parking, I don't know how much overflow car parking goes on to be, we just got, yeah.
You'd have to manage that, but I think it's doable.
Yeah,
Get car parking over on the shed and camping at Richford.
Yeah.
yeah,
Exist.
Yeah, sure.
how's that? So
That's fabulous.
you
Thank
take
you.
it up
I'll
with,
take
AMP?
Duncan, AMP and Andy Reid. Might reach out to some of the contact details.
Maybe another alternative could be the paddock over the far side. No, it's still council, but.
Where the cattle go?
Yeah, where the Menzshed was proposed.
Oh, yeah.
What's the state it's in at the moment?
Well, we'd take anything, but my understanding is that that would still be council land.
Yeah. But it wouldn't be quite so obvious.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because people do for the AMP show, they certainly stay overnight on the property.
They normally stay down there on ambush and
And they're over there, yeah, the horse people sort of stay over there. So,
I wasn't gonna raise that.
yeah,
Well, it's just through the chair, ones are about down below on the tennis courts. There.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the land status.
It's still the same, but it's still your land. It's still a sign there, no camping.
It's used as a car park.
Yeah.
okay, well, maybe get in touch with me, Chris, if you have a chat with Duncan and these would be in your business side.
Absolutely, yeah. It's the grandstand plans.
Is there any,
Thank you.
is there any way of making objections for one-off situations like that? Obviously, there are no campings there for breeding camping. Is there the authority to do that?
Well, where does the rule sit that there's no camping? Is that Reserves Act?
It's generally pretty strict, but we have. Yeah, We govern by that as well.
Right, so we could process, couldn't we, where there's just these one-off things, or actually we say, yes, you can camp up there.
Yeah, remember that.
Conditions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
conditions, yeah.
Yeah.
We can look into that.
They're all caravans.
Would there be enough?
Often, yeah. Yeah, a couple of years.
Or is it?
Should be. Usually campers like caravan anything.
Combo, to be honest, yeah,
Yeah.
some
Some
can
people
take,
use,
some will
yeah.
be tents.
Yeah,
We'll have a look at that.
But if there's an opportunity to go over there,
yeah.
Plan A,
that's.
Plan A?
Yeah,
can we keep
Alright.
plan B on the boil?
yeah, well, we'll do some digging into the Reserves Act, but,
Probably
the
won't,
Reserves Act damages.
anything else
Thank you.
from anybody?
Yeah, I just wanted to say about the lights, that floodlights that I had, some people who live down, inside road, said that the lights were on, 1 a.m, but, I just wanted to inquire about how, so that they've been reprogrammed. Is there any facility for them to be manually turned off or not? Or?
Through the chair. So, yeah, just through the chair. So originally we had some issues when I believe it was power cuts. And then it somehow reset and didn't work, be too last one. Something like that. Yeah, we can get an update on that.
I think that'd be, that might have been something that email too.
Yeah.
Rugby floodlights, there was a timer switch already on the floodlights. Recent power outages had got the timer out of step, this has been reset.
Yeah, I tried to talk to John about it because on that conversation with Rob. Yeah, I don't think quite understands. He knows there's a timer, so what the timer does, we can switch it on and then we just leave it and it's got to go off on that timer. But if there's a power outage or something, that timer stretches out. We either can't turn it on. Timers, so it's between 5 and 9 that we can use them. So I just said to him if we could get a kill switch. He didn't got his hackles up a wee bit about it.
Rob did.
Nah, John.
Oh.
Yeah, that's all it needs because quite often we can leave here. It'll be 9 o'clock on a Thursday and it's still on, and you just got to have belief that it's going to go off.
Yeah. And if it doesn't need to be on, like if you leave the park, they don't need to run another hour, do they? No. Because sometimes they're going quite late.
Oh, like the little ones on Friday night, we're all done by 7 o'clock. Lights on for another 2.5 hours.
Could we have another look at that, please, just to try and get a kill switch on there?
Yep.
So they can get off when people need them off.
If it just needs to be shut off or turned on.
Yeah, I'll mention to John this evening.
Well, excuse me, through the chair, what was the problem that John had with the kill switch?
Oh, I don't think he quite understood what I mean. Because there is a timer that switches it off, so yeah, but it'll go off. Yeah, but
We want it off sooner.
yeah.
Maybe.
We're finished.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
We prefer that to be the backup and if something hit more robust.
Just a reminder that football's got that, it's just a button you hit, big red button when you finish up and timer, so he's installed that, so just.
Yeah, that's what I think it needs, it's just
Cool. That's all working out good.
Yep.
Bang
All
on.
right, we
Sweet.
can do that.
All right.
Never has a manual done.
Anything else from anybody here from the activity report? Just note getting the toilets cleaned up under there, that's great to get that in the schedule.
Yeah,
maintenance.
through the chair, we'll keep on looking at whether that's the right schedule or if we need to increase it. And make sure the frequency is right. So I'll be dealing with Amanda quite closely with that.
Yeah.
She's going to keep them. So.
Cricket comeback. Bit of cross sport
yeah.
interest there, Anthony.
I see they got the drawer and it bashes of everything.
Yeah.
Oh.
Bashes of the Masters.
AMP show.
Good.
Oh, no. So they're playing in a league, they're playing in a league.
Yeah, Nelson. league
Ah,
in the second division, so.
Which is really good.
Isn't it great?
That's a long time since.
through the chair, do we need a new sports field?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, from the chair, no chance.
Okay.
You know, it's interesting, isn't it, how, you know, if you, things have just expanded here, haven't they, and really, it's fantastic, and then all the extra things we might want to look at these courts out here, and think, what a fantastic project that was. Mm,
We need to expand development so we can get lots of RFC.
yes, we do. If anyone's willing to subdivide their property, that would help us all.
Just on the cricket, the Lions. During the boundary lines,
Yeah.
is that gonna get clashed with the athletics week? That athletics track is quite specific to that area. isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of work went into that. Yeah.
We'll just have a different colour.
I'm not quite sure how Rob's handled that, but he's back next week. But we'll take that as something to make mention of with, assuming our maintenance contractor does those lines, Nelmac.
Now, here,
So, I could have a chat with Nick Hoffman and his team to figure out what's the relationship there. Is I'm a little slightly concerned with the bookings. I mean, if the flashing,
Yeah.
how's that playing out?
yeah, I think it might have been because they knew into it, they didn't want to say, look, we need these weeks to
Oh,
Oh, I see.
be, they might not have been.
I think they're going back to get those dates
Yeah.
altered.
I see.
though.
Oh, good.
the other things
But
like-
athletics is gonna, if their line markings out, is that gonna clash with the Masters?
Had to deal with that previously.
It won't be quite because they're square, whereas the boundaries are
Yeah.
circles, so.
So it's gonna be all three for a period.
Yeah.
Should be a weekend, a week or two where you've got the athletics, the cricket and the football all on one pitch. So it's a good now match, which didn't figure out.
Potentially touch as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I might need to probably, yeah, I'll follow up with the dates and timing then. It seems pretty critical.
I
These
think-
things can't be left to,
Athletics also came back and gave a date when they're planning to start, and I thought that was October.
which is leading into your
Weekend of
event.
October, yeah.
so great, you're on to it, so
I will be.
we don't want this mucked up, do we?
No, yeah,
No.
let's, there'll be some minutes out of this that I'll have to deal with, I'm sure, so I'll jump onto this straight away as soon as I get back to the office, probably tomorrow.
Lovely, thank you. And just to note, the girls' football program, yay, and there's a rugby program over in Rewaka for girls, some great things happening, very good. And lovely that we're accommodating the sports up here and, our the renovation program's fitting in around what's needed, so I think it seems like things generally are, this is quite a good collaboration.
Twilight netball about to begin in October or December. So, kind of a bit of a lull here at the moment, and then.
Plenty going on.
Yeah.
We'll have the post down today as well. What's the plan, so.
Oh,
It's clean slate out there.
yeah, right.
Just about the tennis, I just noticed that tennis courts are looking very. Got a lot of. Mold, or I'm just trying to think of the word, actually, moss on them. Does the tennis club deal with that?
I don't know about the lease through the chair, it's, is that a public, that's a public,
Well, no, they're 5-year community lease with the Golden Bay Tennis Club, so they lease the, some of the courts, two of the courts, and then the other 2 courts are public, but their courts have got that special surface on.
the tennis court leased ones are tiger turfed, are they?
Yeah, they've got moss on them, but I'm just not sure whether they deal with whether the tennis club deals with the moss or whether or not.
I'll just check in with Margot. Hi, Margot. Have you-
Hi, through the
got
chair,
any-
it's a bit of a gray area. That's, I won't go into that story. But they reformed without, well, they closed and then they reformed and I didn't even know until a few years ago that they were active again. So they don't have a signed lease, but according to the lease, holdover clause hopefully was in that old lease. And I would say that they're responsible. Our templates state that as a tenant, they are responsible to keep everything
Yeah.
maintained. Now, if it's a huge project like a new roof or something, then council usually steps in and negotiates. But anything below, $20,000 kind of maintenance, it's supposed to be up to the clubs.
So we just maybe some clarification around, I think we said it here about, details of the lease will be made available to us if needed. I think just some clarity around if there are if it's the public courts.
Okay, somebody needs
What-
to tell me
what the-
that.
Okay, they're fine. It's the tennis park courts.
Okay.
Right.
I will investigate that and verify that. Who should I get back to?
Well, Margaret, you and I can have a discussion around
Okay.
that. It's
Okay,
quite prevalent in our mind with everything else that we're dealing with, tennis clubs.
Yeah.
elsewhere.
Can I
Okay.
just make-
Yeah.
The lines out here on the fixing page, there are 2 tennis courts. And it's tennis's, wish to come up here and this will be their main courts, but the issue being there's no fence at the moment.
Yeah,
Now, the rec centre are in the process of trying to get funding to put a fence down the bottom end around there.
yeah.
Once that happens, the tennis will play most of their games here.
Good to know.
Yeah.
And we've got a community grants meeting tomorrow where all sorts of community groups apply for money for the year, and I know the tennis club has applied for some money for a movable net.
Next on,
Right,
yeah,
yeah,
that's right,
so-
yes, yeah.
That's good to remember.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that'll be interesting to see. But I am interested, Margot, in the lease situation with the tennis club, and if they would think to carry that on, I assume they will. I don't know.
that is, there's been a lot of toing and froing on some of these reports, and off the top of my head, I've lost track of why I didn't have the tennis club on these. And it may be actually that the tennis club was on a renewal. Oh, no, it wouldn't have been. Back in 2018. I have to look. It's
Okay.
currently on my list of to-dos for new leases or renewed leases.
Yeah, just a little update would be fine
Okay,
for next time.
okay.
Anything else from anybody around this report? Somebody happy to move the resolution that we received the report?
Yeah.
Thank you, Marissa. Seconded. Thanks, Anthony. All those in favour, please say aye. Against, carried. That's the sort of end of the formal report. Are there any little extra things from your areas of expertise?
Regarding issues or
Just.
things that are coming up with the clubs.
I think just if there's anything that hasn't been attended to in the report. Extra issues, I mean, usually the best way to do it is to go through stuff and so it gets raised.
April
here.
doesn't have anything.
You're good?
I just got one, and I talked to Duncan about it too. It's the parking lines, the back door into the grandstand where all the, everything's
Yeah.
stored. People are parking, it needs
Yeah.
yellow lines in front of it. There's a cross, white cross line.
Yes.
People take no notice of that. Every time you come up, you want to get in and get here in and out those double doors.
There's cars.
There's a car in it.
All right.
Through the chair, I'd like to pick that up as part of the remarking and the
Yeah,
brushing and the getting rid of all the stones and what have you, so it's going to be more about, it's there better.
Does it need a sign on the door?
It could possibly do, yeah. I
Access, yeah.
might like to have a look at it before I take a photo. or
brief
go.
access.
But certainly we're going to be remarking
Yeah.
that area out there.
Yeah.
in the
Wider
next-
car park?
there's however many car parks we're supposed to have
Yeah.
there is what we'll do.
Yeah.
Like,
They're the minimum
Yeah.
size.
Yeah.
A bit like-
I know that.
No, they're good.
So,
so-
some big ones.
They're big cars in Tākaka, I don't.
Everyone has a ute.
I hear you.
And in terms of this action list from last time, I think we've kill switch on the lights. Brownies in, I said we were looking for costs involved in converting brownies in, so I was expecting something a bit more detailed. Maintenance program, toilets good. Oh, did the floodlight on the side of the rec centre get tilted?
Yes.
I was gonna have a chat with the Menzshed, which I did, which was just to understand what they were doing, which has been resolved. And are we ensuring that athletics receive the invite to the meeting and the meeting material? Have we got them on the list?
We can add them. That wasn't passed through to me. So
This
as
is the
a
last
member of
one.
the committee,
They're not a member of the committee, we want them to be able to come along if they want to and to receive the reports.
so that's the athletics club.
Yeah.
And who is there, do we have a contact?
I can pass that over to you.
Great, thank you.
Athletics club and.
Anything extra from anybody? Thank you all. Thanks for coming along. Great that things are going swimmingly, largely. Thanks, Margot.
Thank you.
Thanks for all your efforts with these tricky little situations.
Well, we're getting them, we're hurting these cats.
Yeah. I'll close with karakia. And thanks, Grant and Tony, for your positive involvement here with us. It's very good. Karakia pāwhau, kia hiki ki kōrero, kia wātia ki mama, te manawa o te tangata, kia u ki te ara mō tātou, e oro nei, o roho, ki runga, kia tīna, a hui e tai ki e. Let our discussions be lifted, focus on the path of life, uphold peace and some of this.